This podcast is sponsored by the Faraday Battery Challenge, which aims to support world-class scientific, technology development and manufacturing scale-up capability for batteries in the UK.
The challenge is focused on developing cost-effective, high-performance, durable, safe and recyclable batteries to support the EV market. If you want to find out more, make sure to go to www.faraday.ac.uk. Welcome to the See Me, Be Me podcast. I'm Nile Henry.
And I'm Blair Henry.
And we're two brothers who set out on a mission to make motorsport and STEM careers more diverse, affordable, and inclusive. We are the founders of the Blair Project.
In this podcast series, we delve into the minds of inspirational individuals who've come from ordinary and often humble backgrounds, but through their belief, dogged determination, and never give up attitude, have managed to overcome academic, social, or mental challenges to achieve their dream careers.
Our guests will share their life lessons that you can apply to your own. We hope their stories will inspire you to go further, aim higher, and accept nothing less than you deserve. Your ambition, your purpose is all within. We're here to help you unlock it. The planet of possibilities are endless.
You know who made it.
So on today's episode, we are joined by Sorsha Elson, who's a 26-year-old apprentice mechanical technician from Birmingham, who after a year of training in 2021, was able to fulfill her dream of becoming the world's first black female technician in Formula One. With a strong passion towards diversity and inclusion in STEM and motorsport, Sorsha has become a powerful role model for young people in the industry and has proven that if you have enough work ethic and passion, you can achieve anything that you set your mind on.
Absolutely, Blair. And we first met Sorsha back in 2021 when we were working with Formula One to help them recruit 2 mechanical engineering apprentices. So out of 500 people that applied for these 2 positions, Sorsha was one of them and got selected as part of the final 4 that would go to an assessment day at Formula One's headquarters in Biggin Hill. In this episode, Sorsha talks through the length, the depth of the assessment day and what was it like that initial period when she got told that she made it into the final 4. Since then, she talks about her journey working in Formula One, how she's become an advocate and passionate about promoting women, but also girls into STEM, who was her role model growing up, and was she, her background of life before Formula One, and what's it like since working in Formula One, and what have been some of the biggest challenges and hurdles that she's come across working within the sector. So we can't wait for you to hear more about this episode. So that's enough from us. Let's go straight in. Sorsha, welcome to the See Me, Be Me podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Nice to see you guys.
It's good to see you again. So Sorsha, for our audience at home, can you tell us a bit about yourself, your background, and why did you choose a career in STEM?
Wow. So I'm from Birmingham originally. I'm 26 years old. I worked in customer service since I was 17 years of age. One of that included working as a flight attendant. And I've always loved aviation, loved planes. I used to ask the pilots like all sorts of questions just to really get to know how, they operate. And that's what sort of piqued my interest in mechanical engineering anyway. And I guess, I don't know, as time went on, I just thought, okay, like maybe this is something I could see myself doing. I knew that I didn't want to fly forever. So, maybe I could build a career on the ground, working with planes, but I just didn't really see a way into that industry at the time. I mean, my confidence is pretty low. I didn't have my A-levels, I had my GCSEs, but I thought, right, to be an engineer and to go into university again, that was a really challenging and scary thought. So it wasn't really until later during COVID that I really thought, okay, let's like give it a shot. Let's see what happens when I had this opportunity come up. And 2 years later, here I am now.
I was going to add on with that, Sorsha. In terms of your early life at school, what was it like in terms of school? Like, who were your role models growing up?
Oh, cliche, but Beyonce was like a massive role model for me. I always found a lot of comfort in her music, felt empowered by her music. I mean, I did have like, other role models in my life, like such as like my family, like my mom especially, my cousins, my younger sister. She's an absolute inspiration to me. She's very, very intelligent. But I mean, I didn't really have somebody, let's say, like me in a STEM background to look up to and look for at the time anyway, that I knew of. And looking back now, that's quite a difficult thing, because you just don't think that it can be you. Yeah.
And so when you were growing up, let's take me back to a 6 or 7 year old Sorsha. What was your dream?
I think when I was like 6 or 7, I think I wanted to be a teacher when I was about that age. I liked the thought of working with children, and then that developed into my teenage years. I wanted to be a midwife. So I took child development studies, got a really good grade in that. I did really well in my GCSEs, and I wanted to be a midwife, and unfortunately, fortunately, that didn't pan out. So it's very different to what it is now, very different.
And and what was the change for you at 16, 17 or 18 to then, moving away from not doing being a midwife to wanting to be a flight attendant? Had you always had a passion about planes or an interest in planes growing up? Or?
Yeah. I've always had an interest in planes growing up. Going on holiday and stuff was so exciting for me. I'd want to learn I wanted to learn all about the plane itself that I was traveling on. But to be honest with you, it was in the back of my mind. I had a friend that was going to do cabin crew anyway. And when I got told that I wasn't allowed to complete year 13, my second year of sixth form, because I didn't pass my A-levels my first year, I was like, okay, so now what? And that was a really scary moment. I basically got told, like, I'm really sorry, like, you can't come back here. And I was like, well, what do I do? And I remember the same day, me and my mum sat there and applied for college, and I went and enrolled that day into aviation operations, because I thought, well, I want to get a qualification in something. I'm interested in that. It's all about what we do, and all about the aviation industry as a whole, and what we do as a flight attendant. And I think it was maybe a year later that I got the job with the airline that I was with for 3 years. Yeah.
Is traveling something that you've always been passionate about?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's such a big place. And I think there's just so many different places. I think, it's a life not lived properly if you haven't at least been somewhere. And that's not to say, like, some people can't afford to be jet setting off and going to other places. I mean, we're just talking like, just go out of your hometown and just have a look around to see how different cultures live and what else is going on outside of your immediate bubble. It's always been something that I'm really passionate about. Yeah.
Would you say, Sorsha, as well? Would you say you're someone that likes to always, just adding on to what you were saying, someone who likes to always go outside of their comfort zone?
That's a learned thing. I think it's not a natural. My natural instinct is to stay put, stay home, and don't have change. But I did that for a long time, since I was 17, where I stayed in something that was comfortable, almost like a safety net, but I wasn't getting any fulfillment out of it. I felt like I was just really stuck in one place, and it really got me down. Really struggled with feeling like I had nothing going for me and things like that. And I think for me, coming out of my comfort zone has been the best thing that I've ever done. Like, you just have to do it, take the leap.
And now you're working at Formula One, Sorsha. You're an apprentice mechanical technician, which sounds like it's absolutely amazing. Take me back on that journey. How did you discover that opportunity? And were you a big F1 fan growing up?
Yeah. So to answer the second question first, it'd been on in my life growing up. Of course it had. My uncle on my dad's side was a massive fan of it. So whenever we went to go visit my aunt and uncle, it was on every single weekend, I think for me, with especially with my dad's side of the family, Lewis was such a big part of that because he's black. And seeing that representation on screen as well in at that level, the highest level that you can get in racing. So it was on and off, during my childhood. And then it was recently during COVID that I really got back into it properly again. And I was like, this is brilliant. And I think Drive to Survive really helped with that as well. F1 is just absolutely soaring at the minute. It's bigger than it's ever been. You've got lots and lots of different fans coming into the space now, which is fantastic. And it's nice as well. It feels like a real community.
Yeah.
But never in a million years did I ever dream I would be working here. There's just that would never have even crossed my mind. And I think I've told you guys the story before about how this opportunity came up, but I remember being in that place of feeling really stuck in a rut, and I was on the phone to my dad. I was really upset, and I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to change. I can't do this anymore. And he said to me, look, you've been interested in engineering now for a while. Why don't you just have a look to see what's out there? And you know what, you love F1, so why not just see if there's anything about there? And I was like, okay, had to think about it. An hour later, this link pings through in the family group chat. My auntie's posted it in the group chat, this link, Formula One apprentice mechanical engineer. And I was like, and I called my dad up and I was like, Daddy, did you just tell Auntie about this? And he was like, no. And I was like, this is fate. This was meant to happen. There's no way we just had that conversation. And then this comes through an hour later, and it gives me goosebumps to think about it. It's just completely changed the trajectory of my life. And I just could not be happier about it. But yeah, that's how that happened, really. It's crazy when you think about it.
So you're at that point, you saw that WhatsApp message, or you saw that notification. You were like, this can't be real, this must be fake. And you clicked on it, applied. And what was that feeling? What was that feeling like when you found out you had made it through to one of the final applicants?
Yeah. Absolutely surreal. I remember coming in and telling my mum cried. She was crying. Me and the girls were because my girlfriends are all fans of F1 as well, but they were all screaming, jumping up and down. I just couldn't believe it. And I don't actually think it did sink in until I actually got here in August last year. I really don't think it sunk in. I was just in this complete daze of what is going on, and I'd heard about the opportunities that were going on within F1, the We Race as One scheme, and trying to get more diversity within motorsport, which is absolutely fantastic. And I thought, you know what, yeah, that's absolutely brilliant. Maybe I can be part of that change. But to be actually part of it and then just reflect back, it's just insane. Yeah. It was surreal.
And what was it like visiting Formula One's headquarters for the first time?
Oh, mad. That was mad. I think, where we're based here, I mean, it's just I think nobody really has a clue the scale of the operation that brings F1 to our screens, every race weekend. And I'm so proud to be part of this team here. And I mean, we had a meeting the other day, and I just looked around and I thought, this is my team. like this is F1. Like it's a really, really proud feeling. And when I first came here, I was just blown away by all of it. It was just amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and just for the viewers listening to this, so Sorsha made it to the final four of this opportunity, and this was the Formula One working in collaboration with the Blair Project to help them source two mechanical engineering apprentices. And so take me through, Sorsha. You know, you obviously we all went down to Biggin Hill, and you guys had to do an assessment day. Can you talk to the viewers what the assessment day was like, but not giving too much away?
Yeah. So at first we had a talk from the guys at CETA, which are the people that I've did my training with for a year in Southampton. My boss actually was an apprentice there. So that was like fascinating. So I was like, it's like come full circle almost for him. We had a talk from them. They just explained basically, you know, like how an apprenticeship works, how it's all going to be laid out and split up over the 4 years of me completing it, and you know, basically what I can expect in the coming days, sort of thing. And F1 from their side explained like what my job role would be. I had, as you can imagine, like a million questions, which they answered gracefully, bless. But it was a really, really good interactive day. I mean, we had like this really fun activity to like build a bridge out of paper, but I mean, that sounds easy enough. It just wasn't, like, at all. It's quite difficult to like wrap your head around it. And then the other side of it was like budgeting. So like you had every material that you used to build this paper bridge, you had to spend money for it, and you know, keep within a budget, but give the customer what they wanted. And yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Now, after the assessment day, obviously you go away, you find out, you get the news, you've won the position, you've got the opportunity, you're now working at Formula One. You've had to do, you did a year at CETA, is that correct?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And now you're working full time at Formula One's HQ in Biggin Hill. Take me through, what does an average day look like?
It really varies. It really does vary. I mean, so you've got off season, so you know, winter and summer breaks. Believe it or not, our busiest periods here in the workshop. Everything comes back. So you know, we need to do maintenance or modify or repair something here in our workshop, and then get it ready for that next race. And then when we are racing, it is a little bit quieter, but it does give me a chance to really hone in some of my skills for my apprenticeship. So, you know, I'm able to do stuff like welding in my downtime. We've just had a new mill and a new lathe installed in our workshop as well, which is I'm really excited to get working on. But it just, everything at the moment is just going towards my endpoint for my apprenticeship, just to get me qualified. That's an average day. Sorry.
And since you've started at Formula One, Sorsha, what would you say is the biggest challenge you faced whilst working for Formula One?
I mean, I'll be honest and say that to me, I never thought in a million years that me being the only female in a very male-dominated area would be a problem. I've always been very headstrong and very confident, and you know, that won't bother me. Like, I'll be fine. Like, you know, they're people. It'll be fine. I get on with people. And that has been a real challenge, and I did not expect it at all. And it's taking me some time to really get used to it. I'm used to working with a lot of women, having that real comfort and almost like safety around me, and feeling like, you know, I can share my own experiences with them. And it's been difficult because I'm just not used to this environment. And then, not to say that it's necessarily a bad thing. My manager is probably the best boss I've ever had, like in my working career. He's so supportive. Anything that I need, he's there to lend a hand. And I can say that about the entire department as well. They are absolutely fantastic. And everyone that I've met so far, whether that be in HR or in circuit engineering or, in different areas of the business, everyone has been so welcoming and friendly and helpful. But that's not to say that I'm still having my own struggles with it. And I don't think it would be fair for me to sit here and say, to young girls listening, like, oh, it will be fine going into male-dominated spaces, because you will have challenges with it. That's just, it's to be expected, but you can overcome them. And I think especially with the right support around you, it's so much easier to sort of get over those barriers, so to speak.
And then from yourself going into a completely new work environment as well. With Formula One being based in Biggin Hill, you would have had to relocate. So what was that like as well? On top of obviously going into a new work environment, relocating into a completely new area.
So, I mean, from the day that I found out that I got the job, I had 3 weeks to move to Southampton, first of all. And I don't even remember those 3 weeks. It was a blur. I remember my to-do list. The first one was like, quit job, which was like, I had to go tell my manager, like, I'm really sorry, I've got to go. The second thing was like, to find somewhere to live. And everyone obviously offered a hand for that as well, which is amazing. But yeah, it was crazy. It was just like 1 minute I'm in my mum's house, chilling. And then next minute it's like I'm on my own in Southampton doing mechanical training, and it's just like it's completely flipped. And then again, when I've moved here, I think there was maybe about 2 weeks before I started here that I found out that I got my apartment with luckily I've got my sister and my best friend that moved with me. But I had 2 weeks and I was stressing out thinking, oh my God, like I haven't got anywhere to live yet, but it's all worked out. It has been incredibly difficult to leave my family and Birmingham, my home. I absolutely love Birmingham. But I have to see it as like, this is an investment to like my future. And, one day maybe I can go back, but, for now I'm here.
So you're now in your second year of your apprenticeship, but your first year actually working in the workshops at Formula One. How beneficial has the apprenticeship been for you currently? Like, yeah,
massively. It's been brilliant. And I think going back to what I was saying earlier about my A levels and my GCSEs, I don't do well learning like that. And I think there's a lot of people out there that will understand what I mean. I'm quite a visual learner. I have to be practically doing something to be able to pick up skills and knowledge from that. And that's just the way that I think. And I think for people that do learn like that, an apprenticeship is just like the best way forward, because the practicality, it's not just the theory that you're learning, which of course, I've done all of that, but it's also just knowing what to do, looking at a physical object and knowing how to approach that. I think that's really, really good skills to pick up. And I think an apprenticeship, it's not rushed, it's not, you've got like 3 weeks to learn all of this and you've got to be amazing at it straight away. It's not rushed. I've got 4 years and it's just been a really, really new way, but a really good way of getting my qualification at the end of it.
Yeah.
Go on now. All right. I was going to just ask you, Sorsha, with her starting at Formula One. I remember last time I spoke to you last month at the Proto EV test day. You said with Formula One, it's a really, really hard work, but really rewarding. But what would you say is the most important personality or strength trait needed to succeed in an environment like Formula One?
That's a hard question. Determination, I think. F1's massive. It's absolutely huge, and you've got so many different people all doing their own jobs to make one thing happen. And I think if you are determined, to get it right and to work hard and to really push yourself, I think it ends up being definitely much more rewarding because you can see what your hard work has gone into.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I'm at track, especially, I've got 3 weeks of really difficult, manual labor, but it's like the best thing ever when I can hear the cars in the background, or I'm just seeing them go by. I'm thinking, well, this is what I've done this for, and you can see, like, with all the fans and everything, the fans have the best time at these races, and you think, well, this is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
This is what I want to make happen. So it's really rewarding.
And what is a day-to-day when you're at the track? What is it like day to day when you're working at each of the different circuit locations?
They're long days. They're certainly long days. Some days are like 6 until 8 p.m. sometimes.
Wow.
But they are all very, I'd say, quite structured. So you have a list of jobs to do, and you just get on with them, and they're all the same jobs at each race. Our team, I can't speak for other departments, so I'm going to just go speak for mine, but our team know what we have to do every single race. We have the same job every single race, and that includes building the structure, which becomes the broadcast center. And you probably can see that on the TV in the background and things like that. And I find it really, structured, I think, is the word. It's not like everyone's running around like headless chickens. Everyone has a job to do, and they know what they need to do, and we just get on with it.
Now, Sorsha, I just want to go back a little bit to when you got the news that you got the gig to work at Formula One. What was your family's reaction, and what were your friends' reaction as well? Did all your friends know that you had applied for this job at Formula One, or did this come straight out of the blue, like you kept it to yourself and then just revealed it? Oh, by the way, guys. I'm work at Formula One.
I told my family, not all of them, but I had told my family, and I told some of my friends. Some I couldn't tell because I worked with them at my old job, which meant, I had to keep that on the down low. But my family were just ecstatic. My mum, like I think I said, like she was crying, bless her. And my dad, just remember my dad saying, like, I just couldn't be more proud of you. And I've always had my family's support with everything that I've done. And it just means a lot, knowing that I've done something to make them really proud as well, and seeing that pride when, my mum's hilarious because she'll go, well, my daughter, she works for Formula One. And my sister, she works for Channel 4 as well. So she's got 2 daughters, and she's like, my one daughter works for Formula One, the other one works for Channel 4, and she loves it. And my friends as well, they're really, really supportive. I think a couple of them might have been a bit confused. They were like, what? Like mechanical engineering? Like, what are you talking about? So, obviously I've been in customer service like my entire life. So they were quite, confused by it. But no, I've got a great, great support network around me, and they've all been brilliant. Yeah.
And now you become quite a big advocate for diversity in motorsport and women in STEM. Can you talk to me about your experience today in how's that been in terms of championing that? And are you starting to see progression within that field, especially in motorsport?
Absolutely. Formula One itself, it I mean, you look at, for example, let's take females in motorsport. Now we've got F1 Academy that has just started with an all-female lineup backed by Formula One, which is absolutely amazing. And then I think a lot of people tend to just maybe look at the driver side of things, but you have to remember, like, we've got an entire company at the back of us, and we have women in every single department. Well, we have them now in every single department. And I really do feel like I can start to see, the building blocks starting to build up a bit with how, like, what they want to gain from this, and that is really making sure that they have diversity in their company. And it's good to see. It makes me proud as well, because I'm part of that. I'm literally part of that change. I'm like, step one, and it makes me happy. It does really make me happy. And then to answer your other question, I mean, I do what I can. I would always do what I can. I mean, I'll do a lot of work with you guys, which I absolutely love doing. I also help out with F1 as well, with schools and things like that. And it just makes me so happy. We had some young ladies here from a school down the road not too long ago. And, I gave them a tour of the workshop and our design office as well. And to hear that some of the girls were like inspired by that at the end of the day, I was like, oh my God, like, this is what I wanted. Like, I want young girls to come into a place like this and see themselves working here. And it's really good to see.
And what are some of the most common questions that you get? So when you're out at the schools or the youth clubs, like, what are sort of the questions that a lot of the young girls ask you?
What first came to mind then is, like, a lot of kids will go, "What team do you work for?" I'm like, "No, I work for a team." But the girls would say, like, one of the biggest questions was, how hard was it? Like, what university did you go to as well? What did you need to get into university? And I don't want to say that it's satisfying, but it's almost really nice to tell them there can be another option. There can be another way into this. You can apply for an apprenticeship and get into Formula One. That can happen now. And that is really, really nice to say to someone, because when I was younger, I didn't get told that. I got told university is the way or it's no way. And that was really stuck in my head. And it really, really affects young people when they only hear that they've got one option. And if they can't necessarily go down that option for whatever reason, they're going to think that, well, like I did, they're going to think that, well, I can't do it then. And it's nice to be able to sort of say to someone, you can do it.
I think, go on, Blair.
I was going to just bring it slightly back to the 1 year of training you did at CETA, because you were mentioning there was quite a few tools there at CETA in terms of the mechanical engineering side that you never used before. So what was like learning like new bits of equipment that you'd never used before, and just a whole new experience in general in terms of the engineering side?
Brilliant. I will say that, because I had full support there. I was quite anxious, thinking, look, I'm not going to be able to do it. Really, really overthinking things. Had brilliant support network there as well. They just really encouraged me to just go into every day with like an open mind and a positive mental attitude, which obviously I really did try and use. And by the end of it, I mean, welding, for example, my absolute favorite rotation that I did there, 4 weeks of welding. And I thought, you know what, I can actually like see myself doing this like one day, that I really enjoy it. Like, it's just you in there getting your head down and practicing. And it was good. It was good to step out of my comfort zone, so to speak, use things that I've never used before, but also realizing like, oh, okay, I'm actually not too bad at this. Like, it's all right.
Yeah, I remember when we went down, we saw think you and Aram, you made like was it a miniature ship?
Yeah, we made
Yeah,
a
that's it.
boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we made a boat in fabrication. So using like guillotines and folders and stuff like that, and spot welding. That was so much fun, and I love that my teacher just gave us the complete freedom to just come up with. It was like, as long as you've got the base,
Yeah.
that goes into your what's the word, like, criteria. So
Yeah.
as long as you've got the base of the boat, you can do whatever you want. So Aram, I think, made a speedboat, and
Yeah.
I made like a classic like sailboat. So it was good. I really enjoyed it.
And I guess for anyone starting out, any young girl or anyone from a diverse background, if they wanted to get involved in this, did you find it hard to pick up in terms of these skills, or was it we given like just like the right guidance and you picked it up quite quickly, or how was the experience?
Yeah, I mean, I was given the right guidance. I think with a lot of girls, you have it already ingrained in your head that you're not going to be able to do it from a young age.
Yeah.
And I know that things are starting to change a little bit now. We're starting to modernize a little bit. Girls can do things too, but there's still that stereotype attached to STEM subjects that it is for boys.
Yeah.
And girls need to be encouraged at a much younger age to pursue these subjects. So that ingrained thought isn't there. But honestly, with the right guidance, I picked it up straight away. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still need practice on certain areas, but it's fine.
So Sorsha, you've achieved your dream job. What does the future look like? Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Oh man, I don't know. And I hate to say this because it's so cliche, but like, I honestly do try and take it day by day, because in the past month alone, so much has happened. There's new opportunities springing up from absolutely everywhere, left, right, and centre. And I think for me, my main focus at the moment is finishing my apprenticeship with the highest grade that I'm able to, and my second focus is really helping bring about change in F1, which is what they're already doing, but I still want to be a real part of that going forward, and I'll do that any way that I can. And then thirdly, I think to just really build my confidence.
Yeah.
So like, out of 10, I'd say it's probably at about a 6 or a 5 at the moment, and I want to get to that point where I'm a 10 and I'm way up there and I'm thinking, yeah, I want to do this and I want to do this and I want to do that. Because at the moment, it is still quite hazy, but just want to do the best that I can. That's all.
Yeah, no, and I think you will be. And I think it's that whole thing. You're on an apprenticeship, so you are still learning your craft.
Yeah.
Because it's 4 years, isn't it? The apprenticeship.
It's 4 years, yeah. And I've got about, I think maybe I've got less than 2 years left now, because I think it's August next year that I finish.
Oh wow, that's gone quick.
So yeah, it's gone crazy quick.
Wow. And so what free skills or values or free skills have you learned that have been that have made you successful in your current role as an apprentice? What's been the most free important skills that you've learned?
Do you want soft skills or hard skills, or both?
Both.
Okay, so patience with yourself, with others. With yourself is a big one. Let me speak from my personal view, but with me, I've got so impatient with myself, and I still do. If I don't get something straight away, I'm like, wow, that's it. I guess I've failed at this now. And it's just like, it's a crazy way to think, because I haven't been in this very long, as you said, and every day I'm learning something new. So you really have to have that patience to just take it down a notch and be like, right, okay. And, ask for help when you need it. You can always ask for help. Second one would be motivation, I think. Everyone's got to have something that motivates them. It doesn't matter what that is, but you have to have something that you get out of bed for, and you think, this is what's going to drive me to do the absolute best that I can. And for me, my motivation is the things that I've just said previously, you know, finishing my apprenticeship, highest grade that I can possibly get, knowing that I've done the best that I can, implementing change within STEM subjects and you know, motorsport especially.
Yeah.
You've got to have a driving factor to sort of really, you know, get you on track. And then the third one, so I learned something really valuable from my colleague Stu, who always told me, measure twice, cut once. And that basically essentially means that always check your work before you cut anything or drill anything or, you know, do anything to anything. Just check again, because you don't know whether or not you're going to mess it up. That was invaluable to me. That.
And how important on this apprenticeship journey has mentors been? So even that little piece of advice you got from Stu, you know, how beneficial has the mentors within F1 helped you on your journey?
Massively. And it all goes down to support network at the end of the day. I think I'm very, very, very lucky that I have such big support networks in different areas, you know, family, friends, with you guys, with Formula One. I'm very, very lucky, and the guys here could not be better. You know, we always have a laugh, we always have a joke, but they also are really patient with me. They take time to explain things to me. They take time to give me advice and, you know, what not to do. And it's so comforting to be able to have that, because I've been in a situation where I didn't have that, and it's not nice. You know, it just causes a lot of stress and anxiety and worry and doubt. And having the mentors that I do have here is I can't thank them enough, really.
Is there anything about the experience of working in Formula One that you, I guess, didn't expect?
To be honest with you, I mean, I don't think I knew what to expect coming in at all anyway. It was like, I think a lot of people expect, it to be like, you know, every day people are popping champagne and, you know, like you see it in the paddock and the races and that. But I don't think I expected. That's a really hard question, actually. Because I don't know if I had any expectations, to be honest. It was very much like I had a lot of questions more than anything. And I asked them all. Like, I still do ask. I ask all the time.
Speaking of advice to, you know, maybe some potential young people listening to this podcast.
Yeah.
If you could go in a time machine as you right now and then speak to the younger Sorsha, what advice would you give her?
Oh. I would tell her to not worry or listen to what anybody else says about you, to not think that you can't do something, that you can always do anything that you put your mind to, that I am smart, that I am capable, that I'm good at my job. And that's a good thing. And to also use my differences to my advantage, because you know, I'm here because I'm different. I'm different to everyone that's down there in that workshop. I'm the only female in here. I am one of 2 people of colour in here, as well as my other colleague, Aram. And I would say to her that is never, ever, ever a bad thing. And that one day you're going to look at yourself and feel extremely proud. I'm emotional.
Oh,
honestly,
no, I can
what a
see the
journey.
passion. Mm. No, are you an avid reader, Sorsha?
When I have, it sounds really bad. When I have time, I mean, things are so hectic at the moment. But I'm going on holiday in July, so I'm hoping to get some books down then. Yeah.
Yeah. So what's the best book that you've ever read?
Oh my God. One of the best books I've ever read, and I honestly cannot remember her name. I think her name's Chidera, maybe. But it's called What a Time to Be Alone. And that was a real time in my life where I needed some self-reflection. I needed some healing. And I remember reading it and putting it down and thinking, like, I'm going to change. Like, I want to be better. I want to be healthier. I want to have, positive energy surrounding me the entire time. I don't want any negative energy. And I remember reading it and thinking, like, this is powerful. And it was powerful. It's powerful to read, especially I'd say if like you're a Black woman.
Yeah.
It's beautifully written. And I don't want to call it a self-help book because I don't like the word self-help books, but it's in that genre of basically, something that you read and it makes you feel something. Yeah, it's brilliant. I recommend it.
I'll have to order that book on Amazon. I'll have to give it a read.
I'm in the middle of Becoming at the moment by Michelle Obama. So as part of International Women's Day, Formula One gave out books, and you could choose from like 5 different books, and it was all by like inspiring women.
Yeah.
And I chose Becoming by Michelle Obama. So I can't wait to read that on holiday.
Who are some of speaking of, let's say, someone like a Michelle Obama, who are some of the other, like, I guess, female, celebrities who influence you in your life, Sorsha?
So Michelle's definitely one of them.
Yeah.
I've loved her for like a long time. The minute the Obamas went into office in America, I was like, she's a powerful lady. I love her. I've said before as well, which I know sounds cliche, but I don't care. Beyonce Knowles Carter, who I'm going to see in June as well, which I can't wait. Yeah. But that's more with her music. Again, it's something that makes me feel things, makes me feel empowered, makes me want to get up and like really enjoy and do my day properly. And most recently, if we're going to go into motorsport, we've got Susie Wolf and Stephanie Travers. Yeah. So, Susie being now the CEO of F1 Academy, or maybe she's a director, but the head of that, and she's also the last female to test in a Formula One car in Williams. Yeah. And then you've got Stephanie Travers, who is she was the first Black woman on the podium, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, she went up there with Lewis. And I remember reading about her story, and I think I've spoke about her before in various other things with you guys, but she's an inspiration. And I look at all these women, and that's what, like, I'm literally like, I aspire to be that. I want to be like you.
And I guess it's important to have role models within the industry. And I think, probably one of the biggest role models in Formula One, especially for people from diverse backgrounds, is Sir Lewis Hamilton himself. What does Lewis or his involvement in the sport mean to you? And I suppose a lot of the audience will probably be listening and wondering, have you met Lewis yourself?
No. I haven't. No, I have not met him. I'm really hoping to, one day. I would absolutely love to meet him. And I think in like this weird way, like I just kind of just want to say thank you to him, because I genuinely believe that without him doing what he did in 2020, when he used his platform to really fight for change within motorsport, I honestly don't know whether or not I'd be here, because it felt like I had a voice too, there were so many things that he said with his platform that I agreed with fundamentally, and he just gave me the confidence to just go for it, and I could see what he was wanting to do with, his Hamilton Commission and Mission 44 and the We Race as One initiative. I could see everything that was being laid out, and I was like, I want to be a part of that. I love F1. I'm a big fan of Lewis, and I want to be part of that change. So maybe one day, you never know.
No, and you know what, Sorsha, what we're going to do now is we're going to go into the fun part of the show. We're going to ask you 3 bonus questions.
Okay.
These are all very interesting questions. So the first one is I normally end on this one, but we'll start off. It's a bit controversial. Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no?
Oh, no.
Thank God. Thank God.
No.
We're winning here. We're winning. Okay. The second one is, if you could have any special ability, what would you have and why?
Invisibility, and purely because I am nosy as hell. I am so nosy. Like, there's been so many times where like I've been out with like my boyfriend or my family or something. They're like, "What? Stop staring! Like, what are you doing?" I'm like, I swear they're having an argument over there. Just let me listen in. I'm nosy, purely for that.
Oh gosh! And okay, invisibility and being nosy. That's an interesting one. Now, the final question is, okay, once you could be now, or you could be retired. You've got yourself a house. You're gonna throw a luxury dinner party, and you can invite 3 people, dead or alive. Who would you invite?
Yeah. I've had this question, so many times, and every time I think it changes. I like switch it up a little bit. Serena Williams. I adore that woman. I think she's absolutely fantastic. She was another one of the role models. Stick that on the list. Angela Davis. Yeah. Purely because she had some very interesting ideas back in the day. Well, she still does. And yeah, I think I just want to have like a conversation. I feel like I could learn a lot from her. Oh God, last one. I don't know. Should we just stick with theme and go with Lewis? Should we stick with that?
Lewis,
if you want Lewis at the table, then definitely you can have Lewis. What question would you ask? Each individual, if you had one question to ask them, what would you ask them?
So Serena, I would ask, how did she deal with the double standard in tennis? So I don't know if you see like a lot that goes on in tennis if you're a tennis fan, but I feel like she got treated a lot differently to her male peers, and
in the media.
The media for doing the exact same thing. And I don't think a lot of the time she gets like the respect that she deserves. So I would just like to ask her, like, how did she overcome that? I would ask Angela Davis this is controversial. I might have to take this out, but like what she thinks of like the current state of the world at the moment. So like, things with capitalism and workers' rights and things like that. Just because I honestly would just love to hear her genuine opinion on that. And then Lewis, what would I ask him? I've got like a notebook somewhere full of questions I'll ask him.
Would it be, was he robbed in 2021?
We won't go there.
We won't go there.
I would ask him, I think, does he feel any different looking back now to when he was like a kid just coming up through F1 and GP and stuff? Does he still think, like, deep down he's like still that same young lad from Stevenage, you know, with like this amazing opportunity in front of him? Like, I'd like to know whether or not like he still sees himself as like that. You know, I'm guessing he does. We're getting too far into it, but yeah, those are my questions. Yeah.
No, it'd be interesting, to hear, because he's gone on such a crazy journey. And who knew? I wonder if he ever knew growing up is that he'd be the most, or one of the most successful Formula One drivers of all time.
Yeah.
103 wins and 7 championships. I'm just wondering, how does he keep himself motivated after having so much success?
Absolutely, yeah. Because, I mean, to me, I don't know if it's just my mindset, but like sometimes if I've achieved something, I'm like, oh, okay, that's good now. Great. Yeah. I don't then think like, okay, now I need to be better. How do I be better? Like, to have that determination and like motivation for that long, it's admirable, honestly.
It really is. It's unbelievable. We're in our 9th year, and we'll continue, and hopefully, we will reach 10. Let's see, we'll push for another 10 years. The Blair Project turns 20. But anyway, that's enough about us. And you know what? We could probably keep this conversation going for longer, Sorsha. But I think it's better that we wrap up here. And I think we're just going to have to get you on another episode down the line. Maybe a year from now.
Oh my God, yeah. Do like reflection.
Do one big reflection and see how you're getting on. Because you said you'll finish August next year?
Finish August next year? Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'll still have a job here.
Yeah. But your apprenticeship finishes.
Yeah. My apprenticeship finishes. Yeah, so I'll be qualified, which is insane. But yeah, let's do another one in a year's time and do like a look back.
We're penciling it. We're penciling it in. Sorsha, we just wanted to say thank you for being a guest
my pleasure.
on the See Me Be Me podcast. For the audience at home, if you have liked this episode, or if you've enjoyed this episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on all the Blair Project's social media and streaming platforms. As I say, we are on YouTube at the Blair Project 1. We're on Facebook and LinkedIn at the Blair Project, and we're on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Get Me Motoring. So yes, go and follow us. And Sorsha, if our audience wants to find out more information or follow you on your journey, where can they go?
You can follow me on LinkedIn at Sorsha Elson.
Yeah. So thank you, Sorsha, and take care, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Sorsha. Take care.
See you later.
Blair.
No.
Another good episode. It's always good to see Sorsha. Every time I see her, it's like catching up with a friend at the pub. And I think her journey is really special because it's like we played a part in helping her get on there through our affiliation with Formula One, and it's part of our Rising Stars program. And she just excelled so well on the assessment day, and even after, when she'd done volunteering with Pro to EV STEM Challenge, seeing her from where she first started when we met her to where she's currently at now, she's come on leaps and bounds.
Definitely. I mean, what I've got just from the interview, Sorsha, is just fantastic. I mean, as you were saying, just from the day where we went down to Biggin Hill for Formula One during the went down to Formula One's headquarters. She just seems to have come far, and really proud to see the progress that she's made in the industry, and just the fact that from starting with Formula One, she's now one of the pioneers for diversity and inclusion, not just in Formula One, but just also in motorsport. And the fact that she's just us setting her up on that journey, on that pathway to achieve her dreams in Formula One. So we always had that dream of having a partnership with Formula One, and the fact that now we're making that difference to other people from like BAME backgrounds and showing them that we're essentially, by helping Sorsha achieve her dream, we're also achieving our dream, in essence of helping other young people get to the highest echelons in their career, such as motorsport. So it's just fantastic seeing their success stories like Sorsha.
Yeah, and I didn't even know, and I've spoken to Sorsha quite a lot, that, you know, she used to be a flight attendant. And yeah, just seeing, you know, started off wanting to be a midwife and then becoming a flight attendant and now working at Formula One. You know, it's to say to any person listening is that, you know, if you think you can only ever do one thing or that's where you're going to be, you just never know where life is going to take you. And to say that, you know, Sorsha had always had an interest in Formula One from watching it with her uncle, you know, is say never give up on your dreams. Like, if you think you can do something, just go and do it. Sometimes you just need to be aware of the opportunities and also to have that support network. But yeah, it's just to say, you know what, if you want something in life, just go out and get it. But also as well, sometimes you know, you might be on your own, but if as long as you've got it in you and you can take the action, you can actually make a difference in an organization or in an industry.
Well, one of the things I also found inspiring with just Sorsha's story is the whole, and what we've had with a lot of the guests is progress comes where you come outside of your comfort zone. It's like Sorsha mentioning that just leaving all her friends and family behind where she used to live in Birmingham and moving down south to London, where Formula One's headquarters are based in Biggin Hill. That was a huge step for her. And as well as being working at her Formula One's headquarters, it's mostly male dominated. She's one of the only females and also from a BAME background as well. So,
well, she's the first female person of colour to be a technician at Formula One's headquarters.
So just find it like a fantastic and inspirational story,
and hopefully not the last. Hopefully not the last.
But from her experience, as she said, she's learned and picked up so much. And I wish her all the best in the future.
Yeah, no. From everybody at the Blair Project and the See Me Be Me podcast, we wish Sorsha the very best on her journey. And as you heard on the episode, we're going to invite her back next year to get an update on how she has found the final year of her apprenticeship as she goes into full-time qualified engineer. So that's it, guys. Take care. See you later. Peace. If you've liked today's episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. The Blair Project is on all major social media platforms, including Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube at The Blair Project. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Yes, we are on TikTok at Get Me Motoring. If you'd like to follow myself individually, I am on Instagram at Nile Henry and also LinkedIn at Nile Henry as well.
And if you want to follow myself, I'm on Instagram as BlairHenry_97 and also on LinkedIn as just Blair Henry.
So we look forward to having you on the next episode. So stay tuned. Take care.
Until next time.